Saint Xenia of St. Petersburg. January 24th. After the sudden death of her husband, a young woman in 18th century St. Petersburg adopts his identity and lives as a homeless fool for Christ to pray for his soul. Saint Xenia of St. Petersburg, a beloved figure of the Russian Orthodox Church, lived during the 18th century. She exemplified the spiritual path of a fool for Christ, a challenging form of asceticism undertaken to reject worldly values, conceal virtues, and cultivate humility. Born Xenia Grigorievna, she lived a comfortable life in St. Petersburg, married to Colonel Andrei Fyodorovich Petrov, a court chanter. Their life together unfolded within the customary rhythms of society. A profound and sudden tragedy altered the course of Xenia's life. At the age of 26, her husband died unexpectedly at a social gathering. His repose occurred without the opportunity for final confession and communion. The shock of his unprepared death deeply affected Xenia. She grieved not only the loss of her spouse, but also the state of his soul. In this sorrow, she resolved to offer her own life as a spiritual sacrifice, interceding for his salvation through a radical commitment to God. To the world, Xenia's actions appeared to be the result of overwhelming grief, manifesting as madness. She began to divest herself of all earthly possessions. Her house and belongings were given to the poor and to the church. She then adopted her late husband's military uniform as her attire and answered only to his name, Andrei Fyodorovich. She declared that Xenia had died, not her husband. This public declaration marked her spiritual transformation, signifying her death to her former self and the commencement of a new life of ascetic struggle. She undertook this path for the salvation of her husband's soul. For the next 45 years, Saint Xenia lived as a homeless wanderer on the streets of the Petersburg side of the city. She endured the harsh weather, hunger, and the constant ridicule of the public. Her patience remained steadfast throughout these trials. She often refused alms. If she accepted a small coin, a kopeck, she would immediately give it to another poor person. Her life became a continuous act of self-denial and prayer. During this period, her secret labors for God became known. It was discovered that Saint Xenia spent her nights in prayer in a field outside the city, far from the gaze of others. She also secretly assisted in the construction of a new stone church in the Smolensk cemetery. Under the cover of darkness, she would carry heavy bricks to the top of the structure. The builders, upon returning to work each morning, would find materials mysteriously placed, aiding their efforts without knowing the source of this assistance. Over time, the people of St. Petersburg began to perceive the sanctity of Saint Xenia. They observed that her seemingly strange actions and pronouncements often carried prophetic meaning. A visit from her to a home was considered a blessing. Shopkeepers noted that their businesses prospered when she entered their establishments. Mothers would bring their sick children to her, seeking her blessing. She was known to possess the gift of clairvoyance, often predicting future events or discerning the hidden troubles of those she encountered. Her intercession brought comfort and healing to many. Saint Xenia reposed in the Lord around the year 1803. She was buried in the Smolensk cemetery, the very place where she had secretly labored in the construction of the church. Her grave became a site of pilgrimage immediately after her repose. Believers would take soil from her grave, attributing healing properties to it. In due course, a chapel was erected over her burial place. The flow of pilgrims and the reports of miracles through her intercession have continued without interruption. The Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia formally glorified her in 1978, and the Moscow Patriarchate followed in 1988, recognizing her as a saint. Her life stands as a testament to profound faith, self-sacrifice, and unwavering prayer.